Hello guys, welcome back to the quantity surveying workshop, and in today's video we are going to be learning how to calculate the mean girth of a building. Now, what is mean girth? Mean girth simply means center line, and people usually call it perimeter, but it's not really perimeter. We just adopt the formula for perimeter in calculating it. However, mean girth simply means the center line of a building, the center line of the building. Now, there are tips to take note of when you want to calculate for the mean girth, which is very, very important, because mean girth is a calculation that you can never escape. You must just surely calculate for the mean girth when you want to take off for something in taking off for either substructure or superstructure or whatever it is. Mean girth is a compulsory calculation you usually have to calculate. Now, the first tip is to determine the thickness of the wall. 2, you have to determine the nature of the plan, whether it is square, rectangular or irregular in shape. Nature of the plan. And 3, you have to determine the nature of the dimension used in the plan, whether it is out to out, in to in, or center to center. The summary of the whole calculation is that if it is out to out, all you need to do is to less 4 corners. If it is in to in, all you need to do is to add 4 corners. If it is center to center, just solve it with the formula for perimeter. Solve with the formula for perimeter, and whatever you get as your answer is your mean girth. Now, if you remember, perimeter, the formula for perimeter is equal to what? Length plus breadth times what? 2. The formula for perimeter is what? Length plus breadth times what? 2. And this is the formula we're going to be using to calculate for the mean girth of this building. Now, in order to calculate for the mean girth of this building out to out, I said before that what? The first tip is to determine the thickness of the wall. And what is the thickness of the wall? 225 is the wall used in this plan. So, and another thing I want you to also have in mind is that the longest side of the building is usually the length of the building. And what is the longest side of this building? 6,000 mm. That means the width will be what? 4,000 what? Mm. So we'll write length is equal to what? 6,000 mm, and the width is equal to what? 4,000 mm. If we add this together as in the formula, length plus breadth, what do we have? 10,000 mm. So when we have this, you know that we're going to times it by 2. So with slash by 2, we don't use multiplication sign in taking off, we use slash. Slash means multiply. So we times it by 2, and what do we have? We have what? 20,000. Now, after we have this is the perimeter of this building from the external side. But that is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is the center of this building. And as I said before, once you've done this, all you need to do is to what? Less 4 corners. Now, what does this 4 corners means? This 4 corner means is a formula that we're going to be adopting to calculate for these 4 corners. And what it means is that 4, which is for the 4 sides of this building, times 2, which is for the 2 sides of the thickness of the block work. The 2 sides of the thickness of the block work, then you times it by what? Half, because we are looking for the center of the thickness of the blockwork, right? Then you times it by the thickness of the blockwork, which in this case is what? 225. So if you times everything together, what we're going to have is 4 times 2 times half times 225 is 900. So when we minus this, what we're going to be having is 19,100. This is our mean girth for this plan, center line. You see how easy the thing is? It's just for you to understand the basics of everything. Now, if you look at this plan, the dimension used was in to in and not out to out. So if we want to calculate for this plan in to in, we are going to be adopting the same method we used for the out to out. The only difference is that instead of lessing 4 corners like we did here, we are going to be adding 4 corners in this one. So what do? We know that our formula for perimeter is length plus breadth times 2, right? And what is our length? The longest side of the building, which is 5,500. As you can see, the 5,500 is from the internal part of the building. This is the in to in, the internal part of the building, and the blockwork thickness is 150 mm. So we said that our length is 5,500, our width is 3,000. So if we add this together, what do we have? We have 5,500 plus 3,000 will give me 8,500. And when we times it by 2, what do we have? We have 17,000. Now, this 17,000 is the perimeter of this building internally, but that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the center of this building. So what do? We are going to add 4 corners. And what did I describe these 4 corners as? We'll say 4, that is for the 4 sides of the building. The 4 sides of the building times 2, that is for the 2 sides of the wall thickness. Then you times it by half. That is because we are looking for the center of the wall thickness, Then you times it by the wall thickness, which is 150. So when you do everything, that's 4 times 2 times half times 150 will give me 600. So if we add this, we are going to be having 17,600. Center line. You see how easy it is? Very, very easy to calculate the mean girth of the building. Now, before we go to how to calculate for an irregular shaped plan like this, let me just give you a recap of what we have done. In order to calculate for the mean girth, you first determine what your thickness of wall is, the nature of the plan, whether it is square, rectangular, or irregular in shape, then the nature of the dimension, whether it is out to out, in to in, or center to center. If it was out to out, all you need to do is to calculate for the perimeter, then less 4 corners like we did here. If it was in to in, all you need to do is to calculate for the perimeter using the in to in dimension and what, add 4 corners like we did here. As easy as that. Now, in a case where you are given a more complex design like this, what you need, the approach you need to adopt in calculating for the mean girth of this irregular building is to make this irregular building into a square. To convert this irregular building into a square, and we're going to be using a method called the cut and join. That is what I call it. We call it the cut and join method. Now, this is very easy. It's not complex at all. What this cut and join method means is that we're going to be cutting from the wall thickness and be bringing it outside to see if it can form a complete wall, a complete square. Now, how do I do this? Now, let's start from here. If you notice, the dimension from here to here is 1500, which means from here to this side is 1500. So what do? I cut it. I cut this side and I bring it down here. Let me use a dotted line so that you can see it, what we're actually doing. We bring it down here. So that means this one that we've cut, this is it here, and the dimension is what, 1500. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting this part, that is from here to here is what we're going to be cutting. From here to here is what we're going to be cutting. And now they said that the dimension from here to here is 2000, but we still have an extra, that is this one. What we have here is a thickness of 225. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be cutting from here to here, which is what, 2000 plus what, this 225. That will give us 2225, will give us the dimension from here to here. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be bringing this one down here. So like we said, this one we cut and join it and we bring it down here. Now, if you notice, we've not yet closed this gap, because from here to here is what, 2000. Then this wall thickness that we have here is what we're going to use to close this gap. So we come here and we close it. We've already eliminated this one and this one. We've made this side almost perfect. Now we do the same thing that we did here to this side. We cut this side, we cut this side, and we cut this side. So when we cut this side, we're told that the dimension is what, 1500. That means the dimension from here to here is 1500. So we cut it and we join it here. Let me use dotted lines so that it will be easy to understand. So we join it here. So this 1500, we have brought it down here. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting from this side also. Now from here to here, it was given as what, 2000. Then we also have a thickness here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing this one, this 2000, outside first, which is from here to here. So this 2000 we have here is from here to here, but we still have an extra thickness, and that is that thickness is what we're going to be using to complete this side. So we've made this a perfect square. We've eliminated this side, we've eliminated this side, but now what do we have now? We have a complete square plan. So this is the method of cut and join. It is very easy, very, very easy. It's just to cut and bring it outside to make sure it completes it completes the plan into a perfect square. Now after doing the cut and join method, you will notice that the dimension is in to in dimension, right? We also have in to in, we also have out to out dimension. Now if this out to out dimension was not given, all you just need to do is to add everything you have here. It will give you 6,900, which is the out to out dimension, and to add everything you have here, which will give you the width of the plan, which is 6,175. Now let's just use the easier approach, which is using the out to out method. So when I say this is for the irregular plan, so out to out, the out to out dimension, the length, which is the longest part, will be what? 6,900. The width would be what? 6,175. When you add everything together, we are going to be having 12,000, 13,000, 6,900 plus 6,175, 13,075. Now we what times it by what? 2, just like we did before. We times it by 2, we're going to be having 26,150. Now this 26,150 is the external perimeter of this perfect square that we formed, but that is not what we're looking for. We are looking for the center line. So what do? Out to out, we less. We less what? 4 corners, which is 4 by 2 by half of the wall thickness, and the wall thickness here is what? 225, which will give us what? 900. So once you less 900 from 26,150, we're going to be having 25,250. This is the center line. I hope you understand everything we've treated today. Just to give you a recap, in calculating for the irregular plan, all you need to do is to adopt the cut and join method. Like in this plan, we cut this place, we brought it outside. Cut here, we brought it outside to fill the gap. We cut here, we brought it out. We cut this side, we brought it out and made it a perfect square. Then from there, we use the same method we adopted in the regular square and rectangular plans. So that is it for today. This is how to calculate the perimeter of a plan, whether it is regular or an irregular shaped plan. I am going to be making another video concerning the perimeter of an irregular shaped plan, because there are some cases where after you finish cutting and joining and it has already formed your perfect square, there will still be an outstanding wall thickness. That outstanding wall thickness, you have to add it. You have to add it before you less or add your four corners. So in the next video, I'm going to be teaching you how to do that, just in order not to make this video too lengthy. So please guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for having me. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel if you got any usable information from this video. Thank you for watching.